Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. We are ending the year with a superstar. Ethan Andre is our special guest today in our last few hours of 2020. It has been a very good, I'm going to be positive. It has been a very good year because I think we've all learned a lot, okay? But as we all know, it hasn't been a great year. All right, but anyway. How you doing, Ethan? How are you? Good to see you again.
I'm great, Dr. TV. Thanks so much for having me. It's always
Oh,
fun to see you.
no. We're very, very happy you are here. And again, we want to thank you. Ethan came to New York about 3 weeks ago and did a beautiful photo session modeling clothes from the Gap. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But first of all, we want the audience, we want everybody to get to know Ethan. Ethan has been on the show one time before when he was speaking about Hollywood and the new standards from the Academy Award standards and diversity. So please check out that episode, which you can find on YouTube. But today, we just want to get to know Ethan. So Ethan, who are you, man? What's going on?
Well, I am just a young pre-30 individual who is trying to find direction in life. I like making people laugh, so that's definitely landed me in the comedy scene. And I also think that the youth is our future, and therefore I think that's something I can do well as well in terms of being able to scaffold and lead and hone the minds of the young, if you will, as a teacher. And that's what I'm in the process of doing right now, is getting my licensure and becoming a teacher.
Once you've been teaching as long as I have, I think we can always kind of seek each other out. And believe me, I think you're going to be an amazing teacher. And I know you, as you said, you like making people laugh. So let's go there for a while. You've also do stand up. How is that going for the time being?
Currently, it's pretty rough in terms of just really having a different scope of a lot of different shows, right? So there's really no live stand-up as pre-COVID. There was so much, right? Where I was in Boston, going out and doing shows around 2 to 5 times a week. And now it's really, there's been a lot of focus on different kind of unique shows on Zoom, where it's less stand-up, less like formal stand-up, and more driven towards different kind of themes or different kind of structures within shows, right? So there's a lot of, like, the biggest thing is the explosion of just every comic seems to have a podcast or so, right? And that's really the focus, where you have topics that are relevant to either you as an individual or current, events. So that's really where the comedy scene is skewed towards as of right now. And hopefully there will be an easy transition back once everything becomes more safe and people are able to pop into just comedy clubs and laugh a bit, rather than it's not as natural a thing for a lot of people to just scope through Zoom and try to find an open mic in Zoom, right? That's not as much of a commonality as it's much more difficult as well. I'm excited for when we return to that. But it's been interesting and definitely learning opportunity.
I think you do a great job. I've caught some of your shows on video already, and you're amazing, and that's why we found you to begin with. So there you go. Okay, so now recently you came to New York City. You came and you were in a photo session, and believe me, Ethan, you did an amazing job. First of all, we had a great day. To understand the situation, it is, as you've already pointed out, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Once a year, I bring my niece to New York. She's I always call her my little niece, but she's a beautiful young woman now. And they were coming for their weekly, they always come in December, second week of December. And we don't have much to do. You know, Broadway's not here. We can't go to stand up as you know, as you just pointed out. So when I got in touch with you, Ethan, and I said, can you make it down on the dates that they're going to be here? And you said yes. And that's when I put that photo session together. And we had a great day. So what was it like? What was it like your first uh, introduction into modeling?
Fun, overall fun, very interesting. I definitely didn't know what I was doing, but luckily your niece and yourself were able to like walk me through the process, which I thought was very fun and interesting. And it was cool to see all the different intricate like focuses of the photography, right? And where with your I guess your spot, if you will, or how what angles there are. It's the science, right? Just like any art forms, where it's a lot of specificities that I wasn't aware of. So it was fun, and it was fun to kind of act and be in a role that is different than myself, for sure.
Right. Just to share with you and everybody else out there as we leave 2020, go into 2021, that I think I'm going to probably put together a documentary where I'm going to do this with a few other people and, you know, make it work and call it something like, filling in the gap. Because again, the Gap is such a great brand, and I would love for them. And you all only wore Gap clothes in the photo session. So, and I've always used the Gap in previous other photo sessions. And I just realized that now that, again, I'm waiting for them to use some models who are disabled. But in any event, you did a great job. I think, though, I do want to wind up this quick interview with asking, you touched on it earlier about Zoom and stand up. And now, you know, this show will go on TV here in New York, but it'll also go on YouTube. The photographs will go on TV here in New York, but also on YouTube for everybody to see. What do you think about social media in relation or in regard to the disabled population?
Just based on how big a scope it is in terms of the reach that you can get with the internet, you really do get, like you're saying, focus on identity, right? So different identities that individuals can have, and they can relate to and share and work towards getting a greater understanding of themselves and others understanding them. But I think it's just because you really have a global access, you really do get to pick apart and have a greater understanding of the intersectionality of it all, right?
Yes, excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Very good point.
So if you're relating to people who are in Australia, right? There's so many parts of the Australian identity that can correspond to the American, quote unquote American, but you can pick it apart, right? And really get to understand the unique individuals of the world today, rather than kind of putting them in an umbrella of, or like a box of disabilities, quote unquote.
What's new and what is next for Ethan in 2021?
So, I mean, my focus now moving forward is to really solidify some comedy opportunities for myself and the comics in Western Mass right now. So I'm going to be here for the spring, without a doubt. So therefore, I've been starting to develop some relationships with some really cool venues that are safe, with when the weather is better, with some really nice tented spaces and some really cool places that are interested in comedy and bringing comedy to the general public again. So therefore, I'm really focusing on trying to produce a handful of shows that will be really, really fun to be a part of. So in the Western Mass area.
Right. Well, along with the Western Mass area, would you bring your group to New York? And we would love to host you guys at our studio as soon as it reopens. And we could have everybody show up and it could be a live show and we could televise it. I would love to do that.
I would love that as well. Of course, yeah. There's a lot of comics that that have connections with in New York that are, missing comedy as well. So there's a huge comedy scene in New York, like you said before. So I see no problems of putting a show together, and I would love to do that.
Well, we can definitely make it work. Similar to the way we do during Fashion Week when models come in to Runway of Dreams. And what we do is we always have something at the studio, but then they branch off into their other photo sessions and shows that they have to do. So you guys could make a few days of it and come and do the show for us and then branch off into other venues that you would like to do as well. But we can make it happen. We can talk about that a little bit later. All right, buddy, listen, it is always a pleasure just to see you, Ethan, to talk to you. I think you are amazing. I keep telling people, one of the great things that I really do love about starting this show is that I get to meet people, and you have really been a great part of 2020. Again, what can I say? Thank you so much. Thank you, not just for the show, but for all the conversations we have and just for you being you. We really do appreciate you, and we know you're going to do great things. All right?
I appreciate that. That's really nice to hear, Doc. But I can reflect all those compliments right back at you, because it's been a pleasure getting to know you through these opportunities.
Well, then more to come in 2021. Talk to you later.
Bye, Doc.